Okay, one of my personal favourites, the CPI CP2000. They're very, very nice radios and getting harder to find, of course. This one has some beautiful cases on it, really clean cases actually, and I'll tell you, that's the key, is trying to find a nice one. Look, there's still CPIs out there, but finding nice ones is getting harder. And this one probably rates at 8 out of 10. I won't call it 10 out of 10 because it's just not. But it's not bad, and it's certainly doing what it should do. The CPI range of equipment it's kind of a passion to own some of the CPI gear. I've got a reasonable amount of it, and I've just been collecting slowly but surely, and it does take time, like as you start to want to grab the accessories and the bits and pieces that go with it. It does sometimes take a bit of time and patience. Just let me go turn I left Joe and his net on 40 metres up there and we'll just give him a bit of a plug. Joe runs a net which I'm out here in the shed. It's great to listen to. I've just got an old FT2000, bit of a clunker, and just running off just a little vertical antenna. And Joe runs a great net there. And I forgot to mention, 5 days a week, normally afternoons. I think he comes on about 2 o'clock or so, and they go through till about 4 or so. And generally they have a good group that get on there. So 7105, definitely worth checking out. Okay, so does it work? I suppose is what you all want to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's have a look at the sideband. I'm on AM there listening to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that's really percolating well. I can actually go to sideband and probably get a bit of resolution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And we really do overpower it with that. Down to AM, just have a look at some carrier. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit over 4 watts, so that's all good. I'm in sideband, hang on. Oh. 1, 2, and this meter does read a little bit low too, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, all good. Receiver, actually I checked that before, but I'll just quickly show you. Oh, hang on. Put a bit of grunt into it. And we're putting in about... what are we putting there? About 50 microvolts, but if I take that down to about, let's go down to, yeah, we're getting a fair bit of noise here at the moment in this shed. That's not helping me. Hang on. So I'm just trying to see if I can blank out some of that, but yeah, down low at the moment. I've got a bit of a problem there where I am. Oh, sorry, that'll fix it. Much better, but yeah. Don't know what's come up with that. Last couple of radios, I've got something that's generating some noise in here. You won't hear it on there. In the sideband, you'll hear it. And once I overpower it, obviously with a bit of signal, no issue there. All right, turn that off for a minute. Yeah, I've got to find out something I've turned on in here is absolutely annoying me. I'm actually getting it through that FT2000 as well when I went off frequency to see if it was happening on that one, and yeah, so it'll be a plug pack or something that's giving me trouble. Anyway, back onto the, let's turn that generate off because it'll drive you mental. So what are the negatives when you're buying a CPI? Getting hard to find something that someone hasn't put a switch in. This was a really common mod. I don't like it. My suggestion to people is to pull that out there. So you'll actually remove that modification there. And the most tasteful thing I've seen that happens is for someone to put a small headphone, as in still a 3.5mm, in that spot. And, and that really then just... I mean, you've got to be an astute CPI collector to realise that, okay, they didn't have an extension or a headphone. You could use it as an extension speaker too, of course, but probably, to have something just there, a small 3.5mm, to take that out. And we're selling this as is, but my suggestion is to pull, that switch out, obviously short the connection so that you're not getting this ability to go to 75, and that's a fairly easy thing to do. Look, I'd be quite prepared to do that. If somebody said we're taking the radio, could you please disconnect that switch? we're quite happy to sort of take channels out of things. We won't put channels in, but we will definitely take them out, no question. These radios come under the more collectible style of radio that generally you'll find it's people that have got fairly established collections. Don't get me wrong, if you just had to have one radio, one CB radio, just to sit there to say, right, that's my 27 meg example of the 1980s, 70s, wherever you want to place that, of course. The CPI would be in my top 10. Obviously, I spoke with the Console 6 yesterday as in my top 10, top 5 on the Console 6 actually. And I could probably name a number of the radios that are in my top 10 that are the CPI is probably number 6 with me, only because I've got a lot of very specialty radios which just are so rare. My example, is probably the best example will be the Stoners now. Now, they're definitely in my top 5, and everybody has a different rating system of how they collect, of course. But anyway, this one will just be sold with a standard handheld mic, and as you can see, I just want to get up a little bit close and personal to it. It's reasonably clean actually. It's not too bad, but a couple little marks and bits and pieces that you're going to get on radios from the 80s, I suppose. But overall, yeah, not too bad at all, and certainly something that would serve you well. Won't rave on big time about this. They pretty much, we've done a fair bit on CPIs before, so this is more probably a plug to try and say that we're going to start moving on the doubles and the triples and the CPI. Look, I don't want to bore people, but we'll probably have another 2 or 3 of these that'll come up. And I think there's already one on the website, so certainly keep a eye out. Every one of them will be sold individually because every one of them's so different in condition. So certainly, actually, let's just show you the back of this to show you the serial number, etc. Right, just wanted to show the serial number and the FCC approval, etc. But this is serial number. Looks to be, is it 6? I'm trying to read that. 6333. So each one of these will be sold on serial number, and we don't want people to think they're just getting any one of like particular units will be sold as they're displayed. Okay, so that's about it. This is a bit of a shorter video because you pretty much can see what they do and how they do it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this one's definitely percolating. it's doing well, and certainly pretty happy with how that's running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, no, she's a good one. This one, so good to see. All right, same deal. We'll get it up on a few of the sites. We'll try and get this onto our own website. We're really running behind on quite a bit. Problem is a lot of the stuff's selling faster than we can get it on there, so which is good. We want that. Don't get me wrong. We need to clear the stuff out, but it is causing a few hassles with the fact that we're just running slow a little bit anyway. But yeah, anyway. All right, CPI 2000 or CP 2000 from the CPI Communications Power Incorporated company. Nice and clean, good example, and it'll be just the radio mic. Comes with a good thing to mention, 110 volt supply. So yeah, we run up to little 110 volt supply, but it has the original 110 volt lead. So you'll need to run into a 110 volt supply, or obviously you can change the transformer if you choose to. I tend to not, but anyway, that's personal opinion. All right, 73s. Thanks very much for having a look at the CPI CP2000. Cheers all.